Hello, everybody. Just getting the last few things organized. Okay, that's all the music off from my own YouTube channel. And here we go. Hello, everybody. Here we are. Can you hear me okay? All right. Let's get this sorted. Red Boy, that is a lovely compliment that he just gave me. That it didn't feel like a 2K channel, but more like a 200K 2 mil sub channel. Hey Hank, did you just see the sprint race? Were you out with your planes again? Okay, Red Boy hears me. That's good. Is Samantha present? I know Vegas is present. That's all good. Excuse me. Yeah, it was a good sprint race. I had fun. Did you see everything then, Vegas? Like F2 and F3 as well? Hey, there's Windmolenjongen. How's it going? Right. Hey, there's Samantha. Hi, honey. So, it took me 13 months to go from 0 subscribers to 1K. And you know, as you start progressing in learning how to make YouTube videos, and as my equipment grew, like this soft light and the new camera and this microphone, the views have gone up, not as quickly as I hoped, but I noticed that my low points, as in videos, happened fewer times, and I also noticed that I have more videos with 4K, 5K, 6K, 8K views. Now, so far, I haven't been able to replicate the success of my best video. It was a video about Jos Verstappen, but hopefully that'll come as well. So yeah, it took me 7 months to go from 1K to 2K subscribers, which is fantastic. And my next goal is to reach 5K subscribers. And I figure if I keep growing the way I am, I can grow 1,000 every, say, 4 months. And if you do that 3 times, then hopefully a year from now, somewhere in June, I can celebrate having 5K subscribers. Then again, I might get a couple of viral hits, videos that add 500-600 subscribers in one go, and then it can go a lot quicker. I'm hoping to get it to a stage where indeed more people say that my channel seems to be like a big channel, and then they find out that it's only 2K. But yeah, I'm happy enough with a couple of thousand subscribers, and I'm not frustrated that it's not growing quick enough or something. So yeah, let's go to the chat before I continue. Mm. Samantha says, "Hi, Red Boy. Welcome to the group." Red Boy, Samantha is my wife. She's sitting downstairs, but she always joins in the chat. Vegas says, "I still don't see the glitter on Kimmy." Yeah, but isn't that Prema car pretty poor this year? Whereas it used to be the strongest team. But he seems to be doing really well in the tests that he's allowed to drive. So, you know, um, Red Boy says the Max video could challenge that one. Yeah, unfortunately, it has stopped getting views already after 6,500 views. So, but it could, have another run or something. Maybe after the weekend if Max wins again tomorrow. And Red Boy says, "Don't be frustrated. Not everyone can rise like Max." And Vegas says about the Formula 2 car that Prema drives, the car is okay. All right. Yes, so my channel. Now, what other goals do I have? So, getting 5,000 subscribers. Now, subscribers are nice, because if people say, "Hey, this channel is so much fun. This video was so much fun. I want to see more, so I'm subscribing." That's a good sign. But at the end of the day, it's the views that um, give me revenue on the ads that are shown. So what I'm hoping for is that with the revenue I'm getting this season, I can pay off the camera that I'm using, and then hopefully for next season I can save up enough money to go to a race, and then not like Austria or Zandvoort, but yeah, I still really want to go to Austin, Texas. First of all, because I've never been to the States, and me as a film lover, um, all the good films come from America. So I should have already been there. But somehow it never happened. I traveled a lot when I was about 20, 21, 22, but always around the UK. So I started in Ireland and I lived in Northern Ireland. That's where I met my wife. And I lived in Scotland and I lived in England and I spent 2 weeks in Wales. And I was planning on going to the States. In 2000, I was planning to go to the States. And then in 2001, 9/11 happened, and I was afraid for a while to go to America. And then after that, my life got into some sort of um, slipstream. Um, Things went so fast. In 2003, I met Samantha, my wife, and in 2004, I started my own business, but it was my own business then. And then in 2005, I started the business Samantha and I owned, the flower business. And then in 2006, we got married. And in 2007, we had our first child. And in 2010, we got another child. So after that, holidays or vacations became a bit different with the four of us. And that's why we've never been to the States. But yeah, I definitely want to go, and hopefully next year. So that's a goal to have like. But I'm gonna be completely honest here. The revenue I'm getting now from my channel is between €30 and €50 per month. So towards the end of the year, that's going to be between 500 and €600, and that's just enough to pay for the Sony camera I'm using. Um, so yeah, um, I want to grow my channel, so my revenue goes to say €100 a month, and then at the end of the year I'll have €1,200, and that should be enough to pay for, the 3-day ticket of a race, and then maybe flights. Um, um, I'm just gonna dive into what Vegas says. Careful the feedback you give YouTube. Wiped all my memberships and subscriptions this week. Still can't do memberships or super chats yet. Um, well, you can't be a member of my channel anymore because I stopped that for a bit. But I don't know what happened on your end. Were you complaining about YouTube or something that they were doing things wrong, and then all of a sudden they felt the need to do something? In any case, memberships. Um, I thought I would get loads of members with my audience growing, and for a while there, Jason Hassett from the Wheel Sports, he was handing out these monthly subscriptions as a joke. So at some point, I had 30 YouTube members, and which was fun because I made one just for members YouTube video, and I was releasing videos earlier for my YouTube members. Um, but then Beth Griffiths, she died, and I notified her daughter saying that the monthly membership was still being taken from her bank account, but she said that the bank account would be closed and at some point that would stop. But for the last 3 months, I've been collecting her membership, even though she's not with us anymore. So um, I I stopped it myself. I only had like 3 members because Jason from Wheel Sports, he was a member and then he forgot to renew it. So yeah, that was a member lost, and yeah, Vegas indeed wasn't a member all of a sudden anymore either. So at some point, I only had 2 members, and I thought, might as well stop it. And in a couple of months' time, I'll have enough new members and stuff, and I'll keep doing these live streams, and I'll just do more. I'll start up the memberships again, and that'll be that. Okay, so I'm going back to the chat. Hank says life is hard as a YouTuber. Yeah, well, hard. Wait, what's this? Life is hard in general, and YouTube is my hobby, so it's just for fun. I'm still loving it. I'm if I make like a 12-minute video like I did the other day with Max Verstappen in Austria 2019, I think that's costing me between 12 and 14 hours to make, from the moment I start writing to recording it to the rough cut, getting rid of all miss the things I've done wrong in recording the video so it lines up, and then collecting all the B-roll and then sticking the B-roll over it, and then putting all the transitions in, and then finding the right music, and that takes about an hour each minute that I get to produce. And then uploading it, yeah, that's costing me 14, 15 hours. And yeah, as it stands, that video is getting me €8. So, I'm getting paid 50 cents per hour that I put in it. But that's okay, because see, if I loved golf, I'd be walking a golf track all day and getting no money, and I'd still have to pay for shoes and gloves and a membership and a bag of these clubs. And if I was into fishing, then I needed fishing rods and a chair to sit on and whatever. So this is my hobby, and with the YouTube hobby, I can get some money back through revenue. Um, so Vegas says YouTube censoring hard here. Cut a live stream about fish keeping and aquariums for political reasons. My feedback was extensive. Right. Wow. I'm surprised. Red Boy says, I wasn't expecting this. And then Hank says, no one does it until it happens. ABC company is spurious at best. Oh, Red Boy says, I wasn't expecting joining a stream of such a jolly YouTuber and being hit by this. Oh, well, my normal streams are a bit more jolly. You know, last week we talked about Saints and it was pretty funny. Um, and Vegas says, I'm happy. I vented already. Just warning others. Sketchy Hank, untrustworthy. Yeah. So what was I talking about? My goals. Yeah, so my goal is to make enough money to go to a race and make content there. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And yeah, see, I like doing live streams, and it would be nice to see 20 people in the live stream, or 30, or 40, or 50, or 100, and then I can pick the chats that I can read from from the chat because I'll be doing my own thing, and then once in a while I can look at it. So yeah, 2K subscribers. Um, what else? What else did I have? Um, I'm slowly starting to find what kind of videos I want to make. I love doing these funny race reviews. So I pick an old race and I watch the 30-minute review of it, and I write down all the funny bits and all the weird bits. I sort of present it to you in a funny way, explaining what Formula One was like in that period of time. And I'm getting really, really good reactions on it. I've made 3 so far, but people seem to really love going down memory lane and seeing a race from 2018, 2017, 2014. So that's what I'm going to keep on doing. Once a month, I'll have a funny race review. Then I love history. So I have this playlist with old F1. And with old F1, I mean um, typical stories from, say, 2000 and 1999, around that period. Those wonderful teams that were driving then and the wonderful drivers that were driving then. Just like my last one about Heinz Harald Frenzen, who I made a video about, that he won a race in France in 1999 after he broke his leg the previous race and he didn't know about it. And I posted that video, or a link to that video, on Twitter. And then my Twitter moods tagged Heinz Harald Frenzen in it. And he shared it, and we're actually talking in private messages. So that's kind of cool because, I once met Jolyon Palmer, which is a former driver in 2016. And now I'm talking to a driver from that period. And this guy is a race winner, so it's pretty special. Okay, going back to the chat. Outlaw F1. Congratulations again, Wimbo, with 2K. Explosion, Orange Heart. Hi, chat. See, that's the spirit we need. Welcome, Outlaw. And Hank says, watching and participating is fun. And then a bunch of people saying, hi, Outlaw. And Vegas says promote a big weekend live stream for Zandvoort. Wimbo in real life. Yeah, I'm gonna hire a pub and fill it up with my subscribers. Um, and Red Boy says it's fun, Hank. It is. And Hank wants to know about Samantha. But Samantha, you're Irish. That's different. True. Red Boy says I like the banks on Zandvoort. My third favorite track behind Monza and Spa. Yeah, yeah, those are good tracks. Temple of Speed and then Spa with um, Eau Rouge. Um, Baldisos. That's also a new one. Hello, Baldisos. Where are you from? Let me guess. Greece? It sounds Greek for some reason. Baldisos. Um, Heinz Harold Frenzen mentioned just as I spawn. Goated stream already. Hi, Mr. Wimbo. Hi, Mr. Baldisos. Or should I say Mrs.? Because it's not clear. And Vega says, have a tent and guests maybe. Yeah. We only have a small garden. And Red Boy says, oh, I must convert to my Orange Army mode. Or a public house, I suppose, lol. Yeah, well, Vegas, I have these plans, but my community is still too small for these kind of things. Like Tomo and Aldas did an event last year, and I think there was maybe 60 to 100 people that went to that pub in London, you know, and those guys have like 150k subscribers, 200k subscribers. So it's one thing people subscribing to your YouTube channel, and it's another thing for people to travel to your city. Um, but yeah, I love people meeting people, and I'm still contemplating on going to Zandvoort, Vegas. So because I believe you're gonna be there, so I might get a ticket for one day and then go there. Okay, well, the chat is talking to each other. Um, yeah, so I talked about my goals. I talked a little about the history. I was talking about the content I was making. Yeah, so once a month I want to make a old F1 video. Once a month I want to make a race review, funny race review. I want to make one podcast every month. For next month I have another guest from the US. This man is really big on Instagram and TikTok, not so much on YouTube. And he makes these hilarious, funny F1, but also other motorsports short content videos. So that's gonna be, I think it's gonna be a laugh a minute because that man is really funny. So hopefully he's not gonna let me down, and yeah, we're gonna have a great podcast next month. So that's a monthly thing I want to do, and I promise in July I'll be posting 2 videos per week. Yeah, I'm just gonna push them out because the last couple of weeks I've been able to push 1 video out because I was getting a new kitchen, and that's all done now. I tore out the old kitchen about 3 weeks ago. Samantha had prepared loads and loads of meals that we put into the freezer. But yeah, we were living off the microwave and the chip shop and the pizza shop for nearly 3 weeks. So I'm so glad we're getting normal food again. Boiled potatoes. And in any case, yeah, from next week on, I'll be pushing out 2 videos per week. Obviously, there's going to be plenty of Max Verstappen content because he's my hero. He's my favorite driver. And I like to get inspired by things that I feel are important, and that's when I get motivated to make the video. But I can tell you that I'm editing a video right now about Zach Brown and the stuff that Zach Brown has been saying about Max Verstappen. Um, yeah, I don't want to spoil it too much, but yeah, Zach Brown has been a little bit too lippy to my liking about Max Verstappen. So that inspired me to make this video. And then after that, I don't know, but I'm gonna write down a bunch of ideas, and I'm gonna write these videos. I'm gonna half write them, and then as soon as inspiration pops me, I'll finish the video. And you know, okay, I'm going back to the chat. Hank says, yesterday I visited Germany to fill the tank with gas and buy meat. Yeah, benzine is a lot cheaper there. um, Vegas says, how about some down class coverage? F2, F3, F1A. Well, the thing is that it's a completely different niche. The F2 and F3, all the feeder series, and Jason from Wheel Sports, he tried having a feeder series channel, and it failed. Um, Also because he made a video that got copyright claimed, and it got a strike at some point, and it just didn't work at all. So no, my interest so far has not been to the feeder series, and then I find it very hard to sit and edit for 8-9 hours to make a video about the feeder series. So it's just gonna be about Formula One, and there's plenty of content there. I can make a video about how Carlos Sainz and Leclerc will never be friends again, or all the things that are happening at Mercedes with the two teammates, or what I think is going to happen next season. As in prediction wise, are the teams going to be that close together, and is Red Bull going to maybe lose constructors? That's the sort of stuff that I'm going to be covering. And good thing is there's always news. There's always stuff happening. Um, Red Boy says, "Is it just me, or is Max in the top left corner flipping me off?" A like for Wimbo. Thank you, Outlaw. No, Vegas. I can barely keep up with the F1 side. Oh yeah, that's Samantha reacting to the F2 and F3. Red Boy says, "Can we consider Abu Dhabi 2021 old race to do a funny commentary?" Well, the race wasn't all that funny at all. Latifi crashing was pretty funny, and Toto Wolff's radios were pretty funny, and that Max won was pretty emotional. But no, I don't think it has enough funny content to be a funny race review. Um, Hank says, Abu Dhabi 21 has still a lot of exposed nerves. Yes. The few Mercedes subscribers I have will walk away if I make an Abu Dhabi funny race review. Vegas says Michael should have turned the teams off in Abu Dhabi. Yeah, you mean the direct line they had? Yeah, they stopped it immediately after that. I think there's only one person in the team that can talk to the race director. So far, I haven't got much to complain about Niels Vidic. And talking about the FIA, are you guys liking the gravel trap? Because I know I do. I tweeted about it yesterday. You know, all this nonsense about track limits, track limits, track limits, track limits, track limits. You know, we had one case of a proper track limit, and that was Oscar Piastri, and they're fighting that as we speak. But no, last year was a big drama, but not this year, luckily. Um, so um, yeah, I'll be covering you know, all the stuff that is happening in Formula One. Um, when I feel inspired to do a video, I'll do a video about it. If it's small, trivial things, I'll cover it on my Saturday evening live stream. Because that's another thing I want to do maybe 2 times, 3 times a month. Normally, in a sprint weekend, we have so much F1 content already that I like to skip it. But now, because there's 2K subscribers, I just wanted to celebrate that. Um, you know, it's very important to appreciate these things, and I appreciate every single one of you guys and girls that are subscribed to my channel and watch every video loyally and leave comments on each one of them. You know, if if I make a video and I don't get a comment in 2 days from Hank, then I'm thinking, what the hell's wrong with Hank? You know, and Vegas also, you know, I can expect within a day or two a message from him. And there's new people coming in as well. You know, there's a guy called Slowpat. He's probably gonna come in 15 minutes from now, saying, "Oh my God, I'm late." Um, are you guys still talking about Abu Dhabi 21? Hank says the gravel traps doing their job. Yeah, I love the gravel traps. I don't watch much F1. I survive off of content like yours. That's what Red Boy says. Okay, so don't you have a subscription to, I don't know, Sky or F1 TV? Because I love watching F1. Let me get a drink of water. Um, and I forgot to text Richard, so that's why he's not here. It's a pity. I always like having Richard around. So, um, Max is surprisingly good this weekend. You know, I talked enough about my content and my channel. Let's talk about F1, and then say in 45 minutes I'll keep the live stream and I'll cut it short. Um, yeah, Max Verstappen is really on it, and Perez made it into Q3 twice, so that's something. And hopefully Perez doesn't get into any bother tomorrow, and with some clever strategy and some decent racing, he can climb up to P6. And then if Max wins, you know, maybe even they can even extend their lead in the constructors. I'm pretty surprised about how Ferrari has kind of lost the edge that they had. You know, they won 2 races this season, and for a long time we thought Ferrari is the second best team, but McLaren has definitely passed them. But then operational, yeah, there's still things going wrong at McLaren. Like everybody is making digs at Red Bull for having Perez in that second seat. But if you saw today how Piastri pipped Norris after he was fighting the leader, um, you know, that doesn't happen with Max and Perez because Perez is not even close. And yeah, I think it's the best. It's the best way to have in a team to have a proper number one driver and a proper number two. And I feel that in McLaren, Piastri is actually too close to Lando Norris. Um, Russell is the main driver in Mercedes, but Hamilton's too close and too demanding. And then at Ferrari, you have Leclerc as the supposed number one driver, but Sainz is on his heels all the time as well, and he's making it hard on him. And for next year, that's going to be even worse at Mercedes, at Ferrari, because um, I think Leclerc is in better form than Lewis Hamilton, but I think at some point Lewis Hamilton will understand the the new car he's driving and the new steering wheel and everything that comes with Ferrari, and then I think he'll be attacking Leclerc as well, and he'll be getting better qualifying positions, and he'll be getting better races where the two of them are going to be on the same part of the track. And I don't think either of them wants to drive for the other driver. See Perez the way he is now. Um, if you say Checo, you have to do an extra pit stop, you'll lose a position, but we want you to get fastest lap. He'll do it. He has no choice. And I don't see Piastri doing that. I don't see Sainz doing that. I don't see Lewis Hamilton and Russell doing that. And yeah, in that case, Red Bull's in the best position. I still think they're going to win both the trophies, the constructors and the drivers' championship, and in 2025 as well, because Max will keep this form. It's just what he does. Okay, let's go back to the chat. Red Boy says, I watched the 21 season on TV, but IG, my channel here, removed F1. Okay. And Hank says, you get the main parts in then. And Red Boy says, Outlaw, Max might be special, but Latifi is the GOAT. Yeah, go Tifi. Him and Verstappen combined won 10 GPs in a row. Valdisos says, Max was an absolute beast today. I don't know where this guy gets his speed and consistency, but I hope that source will never dry out. Well, I hate to disappoint you, but Max is not going to be in F1 forever, And Karun Chandok said at one point that he expects Max to drop out for a year in 2026, and he'll do the endurance racing, and then he'll see for 2027 who's the best team and if they want them. And I think it's clever, because I'd hate to see him driving for P5, P6 in Red Bull because their engine is not working, or they messed up the electronic parts that Ford made. I'd hate to see that, because we've been through 6 years of Max not winning championships, and I don't want to see that again, He worked hard enough to get where he is, and I'd hate to see him drop off. I'd rather see him retire than seeing him suffer like Lewis Hamilton is suffering now. Okay. Vega says Oscar and Lando aren't on their last engines. Yeah. So you're saying that when Max needs to get these grid penalties, those two can still drive on. That's interesting. But then again, they always take a new engine in Spa, because overtaking is great there. And if the car's as good as it was today, then I can see Max going from P11 to win again. And at some point, P3, P2, P4 is also good enough for a championship. We're spoiled. We see Max win pretty much everything. Hank says the Red Bull ring is short. The top speeds are lower, therefore. So downforce is less and spring tension can be less. Okay, well, I don't know why you're saying this, but um, yeah, it's true. Red Boy says McLaren will have Nico versus Hamilton while Max runs away with the championship. Yeah, that's definitely possible. Because I think Piastri is only he's only been in F1 for a year and a half now. He's going to get better at some point. He's going to learn how these tires um, degrade and how he can keep them whole for a whole race. And then he's going to be even closer to Lando Norris. Outlaw says, yeah, Red Boy. Latifi closes the line at the back of the grid and Max at the front. Two goats in their own league. Indeed, Outlaw. And in 21, his rivalry with Mazepin was unmatched. Um, facts. Hank says Max isn't in great form. This level is what he normally does. It's scary for the competition. Yes, well, great form is his normal. And Windmolenjonge says Red Bull Racing may have hit a development wall. Max Verstappen is taking the car by the scruff of the neck though and getting performance. McLaren are where Red Bull Racing were a year ago, i.e. slow versus fast corner performance. Ferrari are trying too hard and rediscovering floor problems and bouncing. Mercedes are now approaching McLaren. All will be revealed. Yeah, well, I have this funny theory, right? Max Verstappen has been begging in the media for Red Bull to hurry up with upgrades. He knows what's in the pipeline. And I feel that within Red Bull, now this is a wild theory, okay? So put on your, what do you call it, tinfoil hats. I have no proof for this, but it's just a vibe I'm getting. For the sake of the competition in F1, they're not screwing on all these upgrades as quickly because Red Bull doesn't want to have another super dominant season like they had in 2023. Maybe even the FIA has talked to them and said, or the F1 organization has said, take it a little bit easier to make F1 a little bit more exciting. And that's what we're seeing now. And obviously, Max doesn't want to work that hard for every single win, especially knowing that there's upgrades ready that can make the car faster again, which he'd rather have. And that's why he keeps saying in the media, yeah, I can't keep on winning all these races the way I'm winning now. At some point, this is going to stop and I'll have a shitty race and I'll lose a load of points. And he doesn't want that because he wants to win everything. But anyway, this is just a theory. Call me an idiot in the chat. I don't mind. I can handle it. And Hank says, I don't believe Karan Chandak in that. All those pundits react as if Max thinks like them. Yeah. Well, see, I hear all these pundits, and if I agree with them, then I agree with them. And if I don't agree with them, then I don't. But to me, personally, as I don't want to see Max Verstappen struggle in a shitty car again, in third fastest car, getting P5, P6, P4 if he has a great race, maybe a podium if, in front something happens. I don't want to see that. So I'd rather see him, do endurance racing and do more sim races where he can win and he can chill with Kelly, can make babies with Kelly. I'd rather see him do that than drive around in a shitty car, getting into accidents, Team LH saying, haha, see, I told you Max Verstappen was a loser. I don't want that. I'd rather see him quit. Outlaw says, I also think Max will stop at the end of 2028. Then Max has 8 driver championships. Simply lovely. Well, if he stays with Red Bull, then I don't know what's going to happen in 2026 and 2027 and 2028. I have my doubts. because it's a completely Red Bull Powertrains is a completely new company, and they have to make a completely new engine. And Mercedes, they've been making F1 engines for how many years? 30 years, 40 years. If you count the Braun championship in 2009, Mercedes won 2009. Then 4 years, Red Bull won with Renault. Then they won in 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So eight constructors titles. They know how to build an engine. Now, I don't believe they have that head start again like they had in 2014. But yeah, that factory knows how to build great engines. And Honda, they know how to build engines as well, and they're going to do it for Aston Martin. That's maybe another topic that I can talk about. The downfall of Aston Martin. What the hell is happening there? Hank, you were so hopeful that Aston Martin is going to be great this season. I had them slotted into P5, which they are now. But I didn't expect them to be this bad. You know, a couple of races in a row with no points. And you can also tell that Alonso is not bothered anymore. He's like, eh. Okay, that's a conversation between all you guys. Windmolenjongen says, this week at Silverstone will be a defining race for the rest of the season. Yeah, Silverstone is going to be brilliant. Oh, that's another race that I really want to go to. So if my channel makes enough money, I want to go to Austin, Texas, and I want to go to Silverstone. Um, Aside from Singapore, of course. Yeah, Singapore. That'd be nice if Max could win that. That means that Red Bull really has the car under control. And Red Bull is reliving some happy memories from Stroll. Stroll said, I can stay out, and then hit the wall. Hank says, why being scared about Ford? Ford is just providing 1/3 of the money. Oh, I've heard that they're gonna be supplying all the electrical parts. That's what the Ford department's gonna do with the Red Bull powertrain. So, you know, if they fail doing that, then um, Red Bull's not gonna be fast. And Windmolen says, my head tells me that Max Verstappen is off ski to Mercedes in 2026. He'd be stupid not to. Yes, but then there's the thing where um, a Mercedes car wins the championship in 2009, then 4 years of Red Bull, then 8 years of Mercedes, then 4 or 5 years of Red Bull, and then we're thinking that Mercedes is going to be dominant again. I don't know. That's not good for the sport either. If only two teams win the championships. Um, Outlaw says, yes, I know. I also think that Red Bull probably cannot keep up with the car manufacturers because they have less experience. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of afraid of. Um, and you know, maybe the new battery, which is going to be really heavy and it's not going to provide, or it's going to provide a different kind of speed on the straights and everything. And then this arrow that's going to be moving. Red Bull has to do that all without the help of Adrian Newey. And for all we know, Adrian Newey might be going to Ferrari or Aston Martin. And then that's going to be very, very complicated for Red Bull without having that man there. Red Boy says, Aston was always a midfielder. My heart is with Alonso. Everyone's heart is with Alonso. We all love him. My wife loves him. Um, Outlaw says, does not mean that Max drives there, but for one of the top teams at that time. Yeah, yeah, could be. What happened to the Red Bull Aero Man moving to Ferrari rumors? Yeah, Adrian Newey still hasn't decided on what team's gonna be building the Aero for. Hank says dialing in stuff does cost time. The Aston Martin project is only 3.5 years underway yet. The McLaren project is 8 years ongoing already. Yeah, that's true. But you can be P5 and still score, you know, score points every race. But at the minute, they're not scoring anything. That's my problem with Aston Martin. And then they kept Lance Stroll in that seat, but I don't want to talk about that too much. Um, and Windmollen says, yep, Ford is heavily involved in the battery energy recovery transmission system. The ICE is Red Bull Racing built. Yeah, that's what I thought. So it's just confirmed now because Windmollen says it. All right. Um, Outlaw says, give Wimbo a like for the 2K. And Red Boy says, I already did. And Windmollen says, Ford, Big Ford, see itself as the new e-vehicle leader in the US. Okay. And Outlaw says, nothing but love, Red Boy. And Red Boy says, I believe Max said he's going with Newey. That would be nice. I'd love to see Max in another team. So yeah, what else? What else was special today? Oh no, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna talk about tomorrow. My prediction is Max P1, Norris P3, P2, and Russell P3. So a nice mixed podium. Let me hear your predictions in the chat. Vegas says electrical vehicles are dying here. CarMax won't even make offers on Cybertrucks. Yeah, so what's happening with hydrogen engines then? You know? Because those are even more green. So I've heard. Hank, did you do your predictions for wheel sports? I had 6 correct the last race. So if he if Jason does the standings, then I'll have 34 points. And if that Pedro guy hasn't scored any points, I'll be 1 point behind him. For the people that don't know what I'm talking about, Wheel Sports Community, if you type that into your browser, you can become a sort of free member of Wheel Sports Community, and you can fill in the predictions for the race. Not for the race tomorrow, because it always stops before qualifying starts. Yeah, it's just a little competition. It's been ongoing already, so yeah, you're not gonna win unless you get like all of them correct. A couple of races. Yeah, so the predictions are coming in. Hank says Max didn't tie his future to Newey, but to Marco. And Red Boy says Logan Sargent P1. So are you from the States as well then, Red Boy? Outlaw says P1 Max, P2 Lando, P3 Russell. That's exactly what I said. Vegas AB Clarkson had it snap 20 years ago. Hydrogen, not toy battery. Yeah. Red Boy says, good to know. Hank says, yeah, I did. Third now. Yeah, Hank is doing well in the predictions as well. But I don't think you had 6 correct the last race. And I did. Outlaw says Max beats all those English ones. Yeah, English drivers. And Red Boy says, nope, I just want an underdog. Yeah, well, Logan is the new Latifi. Logan Sargoat. Yeah, so those are my predictions. Any questions, people, before I log out? Because it's nearly an hour. It was a nice little chat. No, nobody. I just want to wish you all a very good race tomorrow. Oh, Vegas. Vegas has a prediction. P1 Lando, P2 Piastri, P3 Russell, Max DNF, another motor back to Japan. Oh god, I hope you're not right. Then again, for the championship, this might be good. Red Boy says, you can kill a man, but not his ideas. And Vegas says, you know I'm almost right. I say good luck with future. Right, everybody. Thank you all for joining. And I'm not sure if I'll do one next week, but I'll let you know. Make sure to catch that new video that's coming out probably Monday night about Zach Brown. It's going to be a funny one as well. You know, I'm pouring my heart out, but also with some jokes in it. Let me know what you think of the video. If you're in, F1 chat groups, Facebook groups, share my video. That always helps as well, to get extra views. And yeah, everybody, take care now. Doei doei.